Yes, sir. Okay, so while I'm coming up, what do you guys want to know? Lunch was fantastic. The company was better than the food, and the food was fantastic. Right? What else?
I'm just curious about your daily start to finish.
Daily start to finish. Start.
From the morning, I know you said you end work as far as your calls, your notices,
Mm-hmm.
9:30. But then I know we talked previously, I know you meet with a lot of people on a regular basis. Your schedule's like 3 weeks out, you're meeting with people.
Right.
Like how you talk to them when you talk to them, is that part of your morning ritual when you talk to them and checking in, or is that a separate thing when you're scheduling?
No, so for me, when I say that my work day ends at 9:30, there are only a few vital functions in real estate that have to get done. Remember I said want to, have to. There are only a few things that have to get done. My prospecting time has to get done. My prospecting looks different than a lot of agents prospecting. My prospecting time is on Facebook. I open up my Facebook Messenger and I'm going to send videos. My birthday videos are the very first things I do in the morning. I'm sending birthday videos through Facebook Messenger. You know, it tells me whose birthday it is. I'm going through, hey, happy birthday. Know it's going to be a great one. Love you. Bye. You know, make it a great one. Or if I miss a birthday, you know what, since I missed your birthday yesterday, take today and tomorrow off. Tell them Neal said it was okay. Right? My personality allows me to do that. So that's the very first thing I do. And so I was showing some of y'all the videos I get back in response. So that's going to be the first thing, just interacting and engaging. That's one of so my prospecting is done first. Another thing that's for me, my workday starts at 8:30. So at the end of the night, I'm taking my email offline, right? You all know that you can work offline with email. So at the end of the night, I go offline with my email on my laptop. I only answer my emails from my laptop. You will hardly ever see me I have the alerts off for, text messages are on, but for social media and emails, my alerts are off on my phone. So I do not respond to emails from my phone. Why? Because emails, I want us to understand what emails are. Emails are solicitations from someone else to do what they want you to do when they want you to do it. Okay? So for me, when I get up in the morning, first, I'm sending my videos, my good energy out to people because I've been up since 5. Now, 8:30, I'm sending the videos out. But then after that, I'm getting in my email. I'm still offline. And now I've spent my quiet time, done what I need to do personally, make sure that life is good. I've done my quiet time on Devo, exercised, did my journaling, and now I'm going in and I'm drafting. I'm being offensive instead of defensive and responding. I'm drafting everything that I need to get out before I see any request from someone else. So for me, it's important enough for me, okay, well, what did I say I needed to do today? And I'm making sure my number 1 is done, my number 2 is done, my number 3 is done. So if that's going to be email, if that's going to be a phone call I need to make, of course, I'm not making phone calls at 8:30, it might be 9 o'clock. But my emails are going to be done and sent. So then when I hit, and they'll be in my outbox, right? So then when I go back online with my emails, everything that I need to be sent is sent. Then everything that needs to come in comes in. I don't look at my emails though until about 10:30 or 11. This is me. I'm not telling you all what to do. I'm just a firm believer if there is an emergency and I'm the only one that can solve the problem, I've done a poor job of setting up my business. I have a saying that if it's an emergency, either call the president or 911, don't call me. Right? Now, are there times? Yes. But I think that in 17 years, maybe 2 things have come up. So do we operate by the rule or by the exception? We build our lives, we live our lives based on the exception, right? Oh, well, if there's an emergency, I need to, really? What's going to happen before 11 o'clock that me as a lowly realtor can solve, right? And so just building it. So that's what I do up till then. And then in the afternoon, in the morning, let's say 10:30. So when I'm done by 9:30, I get time to get adjusted. Then at 10:30, I'm coming in. And I usually, Troy mentioned that I usually have my calendar, my schedule booked out about 3 weeks with face-to-face appointments. I go to Panera Bread and every day except Tuesday. So Tuesday is all of my buyer consultation, marketing consultation. And so I say marketing consultation instead of listing appointment, right? And the reason being, if you're a member of the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing, when you go to a listing appointment or marketing appointment, or marketing presentation, what comes at the end of that? The end is the pitch. Right? We all know, we sat down and okay, well, here comes the pitch. They went over this. The last thing they're going to save is compensation. Okay. But a consultation, what happens at a consultation? It's two-way conversation, two-way communication. So I have buyer consultations and marketing consultations. I don't list properties. I professionally market them to the world and get them sold. So when my fee is a marketing fee, right? Little different things with the linguistics and all that, but it's worked really well for me. So my Tuesdays, in my book, my Tuesdays are always booked because I have to make sure I have enough buyer consultations and marketing consultations to fill my Tuesday up. Neal, but you know, are you telling me that your sellers, you want them to take off work and meet with you on Tuesday? Yep. Tuesday, 10:30, we're going to start all the way Tuesday, 8 o'clock if necessary. The reason I like to do it on Tuesday is because stats show that Tuesday is the most effective day. Monday, people are still in a fog from what? The weekend. Wednesday, they're already looking at the weekend is hump day. We're going all the way down. Tuesday, everyone is doing what they didn't do on Monday, and so they don't have to do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So I've just found Tuesday works for me. If I can get everyone's best on Tuesday, and so I have no meetings on Tuesday other than money-making, dollar-producing activities. Other than that, 10:30-ish or so, I did get hurt during the pandemic, and this was with my marriage and my relationship because now Wednesday through Friday, I'm home when usually from 10:30 until about 3:30 or 4:30, I would be at Panera Bread or Dunkin' or Starbucks. So pandemic, I'm home. Wife, as much as she loves me, she realized I don't love him that much, right? Like all the time together? No, not all the time. So it's 10:30 to about 3:30 for me just having coffee time, face-to-faces with different people. And they could go from 15 minutes to 45 minutes, maybe an hour. But like I've mentioned, I have 117 people in my database, but then also new opportunities coming up. So really, when you look at it, I might meet with people 3 or 4 times a year, but I'm just going in, making sure that I have people and that I'm building that into my schedule. Yes, ma'am.
So like you said, you have 100 and I'm a brand new agent.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been in it for a year now, so I don't have a big database.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do when you first started? Because I feel like I always hear, agents talk about what they do now because they're very big and successful. But for me, just starting out, I don't have stuff to do every day. So how did you, I guess?
Okay, so number one, you always have stuff to do every day. Okay, now you don't have the face-to-faces to do every day. I would ask you, do you know what your vital functions are? So number one, if you're new, if you don't have and don't know, the very first thing you have to do is know the market. I think that your point of success or differentiation to everyone here is that a lot of the veteran agents, we think we know the market. A lot of the agents in here, they thought they knew the market better than I did until I pulled up the market stats, and in 3 minutes I'm doing this. So if you know that now, you can be confident. So know the market, first of all. Always know the market and then share that information. And then what I would ask is the people that you do you know what's important to them? Do they know that you care about what's important to them? Because until your people know that you care about what's important to them, you don't have another job. Your job is not to sell anything. So your infrastructure, like Barry was talking about, is okay. What do I know about my people? So you might be in research mode. Okay, I know them, but I don't know their pet's name. I was telling Barry yesterday, I have a client with the Buffini, the 39 things that we're supposed to know for our A+ and all that stuff, right? Names of pets, birthdays, and all this. He responded, I do not have any pets. My wife, Ivana, so he's Ivan, his wife is Ivana, and their daughter, no, his wife is Yvonne, and his daughter is Ivana. And he said, well, we don't have any pets, but we do have a mango tree named Catalina, right? We have a lime tree named this. The lime tree's birthday is on this date, right? And I'm like this, and I'm like, I know some of you are like, are they crazy? But it's important to them. Here's why it's important to them. Ivan planted those trees with Ivana a week after they moved into the house that we sold them, right? So now guess what? I know who Catalina is. I know that's the mango tree, right? And so you're like that's crazy, right? And so then, now here's where it gets really crazy. When he starts saying, hey, you know, Catalina's looking real fertile. Like, hold on, wait now, wait, no. Wait, she's really producing this year. I'm like, hold on, what are you talking about? I don't know if that's okay. But that's where, if you're new and if you don't have a lot, focus on the few. Right? If you can be exceptional to the few, if you can treat them and give them what they need and want from you, you'll start to see it multiply. Because they're not going, what's crazy is people are not going to do business with you because you are the best at, and I say we're supposed to be the best, they're not going to do business with you because you're the best at any of this. It's really going to be about how you make them feel. Selfishly. People are selfish. I don't know if you all know this. I know none of us are selfish, right? But human beings are selfish. Really, there has to be a win in it for us. So I would, now I can't tell you what to do, but if I were you, what I would do, you all see what I did there, right? What I would do, I would invest a lot of time going and figuring out learning my people and then let my people learn about me. So there are some things about me that, like professionally, we always want to keep in these boxes. But what if you open up your window a little bit and let people see, okay, well, you know, he likes to read, she likes to do this, they like to, and say, okay, now I'm learning, because we just want to build relationships. So whether it's one person or 100, because really the only person that matters to anyone other than, like, it's just one. Like, I don't care if you have 117 or one, my other 116, to that one person, they don't care. Like, I don't care how many clients you have. I don't care how many customers. I just need that one. And I want to be the most important person. Does that make sense? And then on the next thing, besides just learning the market and then learning about your sphere, your clients or customers or something like that, I would say go in and start making relationships. And I continue to say this, with agents outside of your marketplace. If you don't have enough business right now, you all should be making relationships with agents. The reason I say agents, they already have the relationship. So my value, my entire value as the broker of my business and as an agent, as a speaker, everything is my Rolodex. You're like, what's a Rolodex? My database. That's it. So how valuable are you professionally is going to be how valuable is your database. Okay, that sphere of influence, those people that you call, they know who you are. If they call you, if you call them and they don't know who you are, that is not your database. That's just a list, right? We're okay with that idea. So I would say just focus on how can you build that, and then it's really, you know, up to you to decide how do you want to increase or grow that sphere. So there are things that you enjoy doing. Remember I said we want to make sure that our lives become a part of our business. So what do you enjoy doing? Like I said, whatever you enjoy doing. So maybe you don't have but 2 or 3 people, so you can't do something one-on-one every day. But like me, I like to roller skate, like quad skate, get the old-fashioned quad skates. And so what I do is I go and I roller skate in the neighborhood or at the parks or at the rink. I video myself roller skating. My wife gets behind me in the car with the gimbal outside, and she'll see me and she'll follow me roller skating all the way down. Is that Sutton? Hey, Papa, how you doing, buddy? Sutton, how are you doing? You good? You feeling good today? Thumbs up? Awesome sauce. Sutton said, my mommy said don't talk to strangers. I've been waiting on Sutton since yesterday, right? Because I heard, because I have a heart for babies, right? So I'm one of the kids pastors in our kindergarten through 5th grade, right? So anytime I see the babies, I'm like, okay, here we go, because that's really like the now generation, right? That's what's going to make everything okay, right? And so when I saw Sutton come in, I felt good. Just like this right here, Ashley didn't tell me her son's name. Ashley didn't even know that I knew that her son was coming. But I have a great partner. I have a great allied resource that we're always trying to figure out and learn. So what I would encourage you to do, what if you coached and you taught and you helped your people, your affiliates, say, here's what I need to help me, because if I help me, then I help you. And so my wife was like, oh, I can't wait to see Ashley again, because all of a sudden now she's have some private orders for stuff that Ashley's going to build for her that I don't even know how much it costs yet. All that stuff is going to happen. She's like, oh, and you know what? I can't wait for Sutton to be there. I'm like, okay, cool. She didn't say, hey, Sutton is the name. He's 3, this, and this, right? But just in conversation, and then me listening to my wife, now my wife knows that I really do listen when she speaks. And now Ashley knows that she had an impact on my wife because she cared enough to know Sutton's name. And so you see what happens. Same thing that Barry was talking about. I don't care. This is not brand new stuff. But I guarantee the stuff, if we do it, and I'm going to be a broken record, but if we do it, and if you do it first nature, I want everything we come to become first nature, not second nature where you say, okay, well, nope, first nature. If you get it first nature, I think that it'll open up a lot of doors for us. Any other questions? Comments? Yes, sir.
So I'm so curious about your meetings because it seems important.
Mm-hmm.
That's for your relationship building.
Yep.
You say you do multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
So you do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yes.
Monday you don't do. Tuesday.
Monday I don't do because Mondays are my meeting days, because on Mondays, since they ain't gonna be working no way, I want to have all my meetings with the people that I'm going to need something from. I want to give all of my marching orders and my request on a Monday. I just need them to know, because I don't expect them to do it Monday. I expect them to do it Tuesday when they're gonna be most effective. Right? Monday, I just want to give them my outline and my blueprint. Now, when some of my people see this video, they're like, that's why we have meetings on Monday? Yep. Right? So I give them what I want them to have on Mondays. Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I'm meeting with multiple people. I'm scheduling based off of, can I go ahead or you want to finish?
Well, I mean, right now wouldn't be a problem because I don't have enough. A lot of us don't have enough. We just do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and kind of touch all our people within a year, 3 or 4 times like you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to that many people, I'm just wondering if they get offended, like all of a sudden you're like, all right, now we do, hey, come on over.
No.
Or is it together?
No, but
Like, you gotta go.
no, check this out, because
This is actually a really great question.
no, people do, so in life, we get what we allow, right? People do what we allow. We get what we tolerate. I just set the expectation up front. If you have an expectation, if I tell you that, hey, I have 30 minutes for coffee, I'm available this day or this date. Are you available for either one of those times? If they say yes, I didn't tell them that they had to be here for 30 minutes. So I told them what I have available, and here's why they want to meet with me, because they know that I'm going to give them something valuable. That's the purpose of the meeting. So the reason it's important is because I'm adding value to them. Right? So when I come in, and here's what I typically do. If I say, okay, I'm going to meet with Troy on, so Troy, if I already know when I'm going to meet with you, let's say I'm going to meet with you on Wednesday at 11:30. But then I start thinking, I need to meet with Carla as well. I really want Carla to meet Troy because I think that they have something in common that could be mutually beneficial. I need to get that intro, that warm introduction done. Carla, I have, I need to meet with you. I have an availability Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Would you be available to meet with me then just for us to catch up? Quick coffee at Panera. Yes. And by the way, I don't know if you all know, Panera Bread has this awesome, I don't get anything for it, but they have this Offie coffee program where you pay one monthly fee and you have coffee, like unlimited coffee, right? Like $8, right? $8 a month, unlimited coffee, right? Pretty good deal. So then what happens is Troy's going to come in 11:30. We're going to do our da-da-da-da. I'm going to make sure that he feels valued in the time. Carla's going to come. And he's gonna be like, I'm like, oh, well, I think Carla's here. As a matter of fact, I wanted you to, what is it? Oh, by the way, Carla's here. I think that you two should meet. And here's why. Have the conversation, mutually beneficial. At that point, it might be where the 3 of us meet. Or if you have to run and go, you go ahead. You guys connect afterwards. I say, you know what? You guys met. I'll make sure I get Carla's contact info over to you and vice versa. Now I sit down. Let me tell you about Troy. Here's, we're just meeting with him talking about this. He needs this. Do you know anyone? Oh, well, yes, I do. In fact, that's what I do. It just takes intentionality. Right? And so then, and here's why it's not going to be awkward, because after you've built this up for a while, like July 27th is our client appreciation party. So the same people that I see on in my meetings, I'm going to see them at my client appreciation party in July. They're going to be in November for the reverse pop by to come get their pecan or sweet potato pie, right? Then I'm going to invite myself to their Thanksgiving, right? And to their cookouts and to their birthdays. And so pretty soon, everyone starts to know everyone else. They start to see my Disney families. Like at church, we have 3 or 4 families that go to their Disney pass holder. They go all the time. And every time before they go, they're letting me know they're going. And I'm like, okay, cool. Here's what I need. I want a Mickey-shaped cookie. The kids are bringing me Mickey-shaped cookies. Right? What do you want from Disney this time? You know what? I need a new pen. Oh, we got the perfect pen for you. And then guess what happens? When I meet with them and the other Disney families, the other 2, then I'm getting them together. Right? And then, hey, you know what? So-and-so is going to Disney for the first time. Can you guys tell them what to do, what to expect, what the experience is going to be like, what they need to do? Oh, when are they going? Oh, they're going in this time. We can go at the same time if they like. What? Right? Now, that's where, so it's just all about solving problems, adding value to them. So people are not being offended simply because they know that when they get there, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, I'm coming in, adding value first, never asking for anything. And then they're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. You know, I like getting his time so much. And then they're saying, oh no, I understand. I want all his time too. And if they're saying that about me to each other, now they're like, okay, thanks so much for the call. And of course, we're following this up with the handwritten notes, right? Right? Okay. I thought everybody was asleep for a moment there because they're like, dang, Barry looked different, but it's the same message, right? It's the same, he looked different, he morphed, right? Then we're following that up with the handwritten notes. So for them, they don't know. See, we know that it's a system. We know that it's a process. Debbie was like, Neal, you can stop sending me the note cards, bruh. Stop, for real. Like, we talk on the phone, you can send referral, I get the video, stop sending me the note card, stop sending me the item of value. No, I can't, because she knows it's a system because she works the same system. But for the other 116, they're like, man, he really thinks. It goes out of the way. You know, same thing with Rachel, right? Sitting here, like, work in the system, right? And if you work the system, then they're going to say, okay, we're appreciated, we know it, good stuff. All right, anything else? Hold on, wait. Like Jim Rohn said, what is it, baby? Say it. This is your last.
But it was, I had it written down in that same thing in the meetings, is you said you do provide value. Do you go into the meeting when you set it up with specific value you were going to provide already? Or are you just meeting casually and within the conversation you're going to look for some sort of value to give them?
Nope, I'm like an attorney. I'm going to know the answer to the question before I ask it. And how am I going to know the answer? Because I know what people want, what they need, what they ask for. How? Because I talk to them. So if you haven't spoken to someone in a couple of weeks or months or a year, don't just schedule a meeting and give them what you want them to have. You want to give them what they need or what they want. The way I know what they want is because I ask. One of my most powerful questions I ask, what dreams could I help you achieve that you haven't achieved in 2021? Right? Because everyone, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So it's one thing that we go through and ask, what are your dreams? And I say, well, what dreams do you have that I can help you accomplish this year? What goals do you have that I can help you accomplish this year? What does human nature require us to do? If I ask you that question as a decent human being, after I ask you and you tell me, you're going to say, well, what can I do for you? Funny you asked. I knew you were going to ask. And am I going to have an answer? Yes, I am. My answer is not going to be, who do you know that needs to buy or sell? That's not going to be my answer. Who do you know that I should know? That's what I'm asking. Who do you know that I should know? Who's in your circle that you think I would benefit or that I could learn from? Because everyone loves the idea of being the source. Everyone loves the idea of being quoted or referred to, right? So if they can come in and say, well, who in your circle could teach me something? And they're like, I don't know. But now if I go to, I spoke to Debbie. Debbie said this, or Terry said this. They think that it would be a good connection. And then I'm going to ask them, who do you know that I should know? And when they say, great, would you be so kind as to introduce us? I'm not going to cold call them. Would you introduce us? Sure. How would you want that introduction? You want to do coffee next week? right? That's how we fill our calendars. That's how we go through. But it really is, and I don't know if you all heard it, but I'm one of these believers that real estate is a contact sport, right? We have to get in and contact. We can't hide behind the shiny systems. We can't hide behind the phones and the emails and text messages and social media. That's why I just believe in being visual and visible as much as possible. Okay, anyone else have a first before we get to his last? Yes, ma'am.
Next, last.
I would echo the whole idea of being together with people, but why do you choose coffee over a meal?
Because my time, for me, efficiency. Now, because I want to avoid the awkwardness, and plus I can only eat so many meals and still look this good. You know what I mean? I can drink coffee all day, and then all that humility I got, right? No, I tell people I'm the most humble person I know, right? Did y'all get that? No? Okay, there we go. I know some people are like, I didn't get that one. Let me write that down. I'm going to use it, though. I heard some laughs, right? No, so for me, it's just efficiency. And then I'm also I want to be respectful, and of course, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And so I'm going to frame it. I know you've got a lot of life to live. I do want to be able to add value to you, your life, your family for about 30 minutes. And so that's how I'm framing it. I'm letting them know there's value. I'm going to give you everything that you need and what you want in 30 minutes. Now you don't have to say, because some people will give you 30 minutes 3 times a month, but they won't give you an hour once a month. So now, if we can break it up and give it to them in bite size, and then for me, I come in and say, okay, I learned something. If I can get it in 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, easy, light, great, bye, get on out the door. Oh, thank you so much, Neal, for that time. It was easy. Now they look forward to the next invite. And then I will go in and say, okay, we've done this. This is our 3rd one for the year. Coffee still good, or did you want to do something longer in lunch? Did you want to do something later? And now they're like, let's do lunch. Okay, where would you like to go? You pick the place. If I pick the place, where are we going, babe? We're going to Chili's. Be like, what?
Molten lava cake.
There we go. Molten lava cake. A whole bunch of it, too. A whole bunch of it.
Makes her heart and tummy happy.
It makes her heart really, really happy, right? And so it's all with the intent. So for me, I know what I'm doing, why I want it when we go in. And for me, 30 minutes, I can get what I need from them. I can give them what I want them to have, and we can stack it enough. Now, for some of you, it might be where you might do golf and you might be able to spend 4 hours or 6 hours with 3 or 4 people. You don't have to do what I do, but I do want you to put some intentional thought into whatever it is you're doing and then make that a process. Make everything you do a process. Know what you're doing on Monday, Tuesday, every day of the week. For me, Saturday really is a non-work day. Saturday and Sunday is a non-work days for me. Saturday morning, what we doing? Beach. Saturday morning, every Saturday morning, we're at the beach. If it's raining, we'll sit in our Jeep at the beach with the windows up and doors closed, and we'll just look at the beach and look at the water. But why? Because it's something special about that time we have together, right? Sunday mornings, Sunday, right? From 7:30 a.m. until we're at church with our babies, right? Over there in the kids ministry all day. Now, with the people that I'm trying to do business with, hey, Pastor, we need to talk to you tomorrow about selling our house. We need to talk to you tomorrow about this. And then I'm having a phone call with them on Monday, setting up the marketing consultation for when? Tuesday, right? And I intentionally did that because I know that in my circle, the church is a big part of my business source. We serve all weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. Mondays are a lot of the people that work at the church or the high-level volunteers, their day to come back. And Tuesday, that's when we're back and we can have conversations, right? So for you, if you're going to be having people that work in, for instance, let's say if you have people that might work in the restaurant industry, but the majority of your people are going to be working in the evenings or during the week or on the weekends, your schedule might look totally different. It might be like, well, I need to have meetings. All my meetings have to happen from 9:30 to 1, right? Where we might do morning coffee, brunch, breakfast type deal so they can have time to sleep or whatever and then go to work. But intentionality. Have you thought about your business? And here's what I would ask. Have you thought about your business have you built your business from the viewpoint of the customer or the client? Not what you want them to have, but have you looked at what they want from you? Do you know what your clients and customers want from you? Do you know what their pain points are? Right now, do you know what buyers are afraid of in this market? Do you know what sellers are afraid of in this market? Buyers are worried about overpaying. Sellers are worried about not having a place to go after they sell. Have you thought about your business from their points of view? If not, we're blaming the industry, we're blaming the market. Can you answer those questions? Can you solve those problems? My dad would always tell me, if you want to be more successful, solve more problems, right? And if you solve more problems for more people, you'll be more successful than you ever thought possible. So what problems do you need to solve? What problems are your customers or clients having? If we don't know that, it's kind of hard to solve a problem that we don't know exists. So I would just ask us to start looking at our business and say, well, what problem do they have? How can I exceed their expectations and solve those problems? Good? Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to do my first. I stole from his last. For these meetings that you meet on Wednesday, Thursdays, Fridays, or lunches, are you paying for that?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Because that is my marketing budget. I'm not telling you all what not to do. I'm not spending money on ad and leads, all that. My highest dollar producing activity for me, I'm deadly face to face. My conversion rates, if I get you face to face, and not even with the close or the sale, but just if I can get you to light up, and there's nothing better that I can do to get people to light up than for me to invest a couple dollars for coffee, Danish, croissant, something like that, and leave them, when they leave, they're a raving fan. So if I do that consistently, that's always coming out of my pocket. Because of course, he who invites, well, I don't know about you all, but in Alabama we say he who invites pays, right? Is that the same for you all? Okay. Troy's like, nah, oh, okay. Depends on where we invite them to, right? Like, I'm going to invite you over here to the steakhouse. Now, could you pay for me? Like, what? How does that work? Anyone else? Any other questions? No? You got the floor? No? Yes, ma'am.
When does your day end?
My day ends at 6. At 6 p.m., I am closing down everything. Email goes offline on my computer. Like I said, the alerts aren't on. So from 8:30 to 9:30, I'm working. From 10:30 to 3:30, I'm having meetings. And then, I'm going to be looking I will check my emails at 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that, because not every day I'm having every meeting, right? But I know what I have allotted for. And in there, I'm responding to emails. 6 o'clock, I'm not responding to anything work related. That's me. Now, does that mean that responses aren't being handled? No, it does not. Do I have, so I'm using Google Voice, right? So they call me, but when I go off, when I'm no longer answering emails or phone calls, I do have those calls being routed to virtual assistants or assistants or agents or something like that. So I'm not telling you to stop your business at 6. I'm saying, are there people who might have different schedules than you, who might have different priorities in life, who are willing to burn the midnight oil so that you don't have to? Are they willing to do it? Can you do that? Yes. Does it require us to get creative? Yes. Does it require us to have a procedures manual, right? Like, many of us know what we're supposed to do, how we're going to do it. But if you brought a brand new person into your business right now, could you sit them down and say, I need you to work this buyer lead, or I need you to input this or run this buyer process? Would they know what to do? The majority of us, the answer is no, because we're working in our business, not on our business. Right? So I told a few of you all this already, but my first 8.5 years in the industry, all I did was procedure manuals. So I was the listing manager, not listing specialist, listing manager for a team, the number 3 KW team in the world, right? Where we were doing 500 to 600 transactions a year, and all I was doing was sitting there making sure the listing side, the buyer side of the business was set. I came in from Terminex not knowing anything about real estate, and they said, hey, do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Had 2 bosses, one telling me this, one telling me this, and they both thought they were right, and they were both wrong. So I said, how are we going to get this figured out? I started documenting everything that they asked me to do. Started looking at the process. Okay, well, here's what I'm doing. Because what I knew was, at the rate that we were going, I was going to have to hire an assistant. Now, I could spend my time training the assistant, which means what? The task fall behind. Or I could give my assistant my manual and say, hey, when I say put in this listing into the MLS, you start at 1, you end at 14. And you do that all the way down. After you put it in, I need you to send these over to the seller so they know that properties are in the MLS, right? And the process. And that's where, so on that side of it, on the business side of it, it's, okay, do you have a process? Do you have a system? If not, you might not have a business, okay? We might be great sales agents, but if you don't have a business, that infrastructure, we're talking about the infrastructure, and I know that it's not something shiny, it's not a product and like that, but do you have with your people, do you know, like infrastructure, we're talking about, do you know the systems, do you know the processes, do you know the procedures for your business to run? Do you know what you're going to be doing? I know what I'm doing on Tuesday 3 years from now. How do I know? Because I've built it in. Everyone on my team knows what my Tuesday is like. They know they can anticipate what I'm going to be doing or where I'm going to be on a Wednesday 3 weeks from now. They know I'm going to be at one of my 3 Panera Bread locations. The great thing about our industry is that even if I don't have a meeting, if I can get out in public and work from Panera Bread, now people, I see you here all the time. What do you do? My answer is, what do you need me to do? What kind of answer is that? What kind of question is that? Right? So I just, and so now this goes back to my personality. I will sit there, and so I'm playing games. I'll sit there and I will say, like, one of the things I do is I try to ask as many questions as someone before and see who's going to make a statement before they ask a question. Right? So I try to answer every question with a question just to show that I'm inquisitive. Right, that's just one of but my personality. I wouldn't ask, like, if you're sitting here like, dude, that's not me. Don't do that. What do you do? What do you need me to do? Is that a trick question? Is it? Right? So just some fun stuff. Anything else? Yes, ma'am, right here.
How do you handle vacation time?
Vacation time. I build my vacation time in at the beginning of the year. So we go through, I plan my year in advance. I know when my vacations are going to happen. I just believe this whole idea of big rocks, little rocks, sand, water. You all know that idea? Okay, big rocks, family time, vacation time, the non-negotiables, that's going in, right? Then the little rocks, I'm coming in, I'm making sure that business and things. So I just design business around my life. Now, when it comes to vacation time, I make sure that I build relationships with agents. I make sure I let my sellers and my buyers know, here's just like I keep them informed of when the market dates and stats are coming out, I let them know, hey, my family and I are going to take some rejuvenation time this time from now. You'll still receive the same quality of service because you're going to have Charles, DeAndre, Cheryl, Sean. They're still going to be here to assist you. They're still going to know everything. You're still going to get your weekly updates on Friday of everything that's happening with your property or project. But I'm going to be unavailable during these times, but here's why, so that when I come back, I'm fully on, right? So once again, the idea, we got this from Darren Hardy when he was talking about people when it comes to execution, right? And when they're sent, like the death penalty. As long as everything happens the way you tell people things are going to happen, they're okay with it, right? It's when we don't know what to expect that we get uneasy. So if I tell you in 2 weeks I'm going to be gone for a month, but I have these plans in place, they don't need me. I've already told them what to expect. Now, if I tell them in 2 weeks I'm gone for a month, and then in 3 weeks they start hearing from me, they're going to be like, I thought you said you were going to be gone. What happened? Like, no, but I'm here for you. Well, why did you not go? Did something happen with your business? Are you not does this mean that you're not going to be recharged and rejuvenated now when I need you later on? No, that's not the case. So I believe that if you just communicate everything, now this does require you to build your back end up front. A lot of us, we don't take vacations because we can't afford to, because we haven't done the hard work of setting our business to run when we're not there. Does that make sense? Now, because could we all use more vacation? Absolutely, right? Are you willing to do what it takes so that you can have vacation time? We think it's all about the vacation money, right? I need to get the money for the vacation. Then you have the money for the vacation and you don't have the peace to enjoy vacation because you're on vacation. As Uncle Jim would say, when you're at the beach, you're thinking about the office. When you're at the office, you're thinking about the beach. So build it in, build the infrastructure behind to make sure that when you're gone, have someone step in. If you're a single agent by yourself, partner up with someone. Hey, when is your vacation time? When is my vacation? And when I say partner, I don't mean like a partnership. I mean, just have a conversation. Hey, we're here. We're part of the family. I have buyers or sellers at this time. I'm taking vacation ahead of time right here. When is your vacay? I'll cover your losses then. I'll cover your time right there. All right? And then you all just let them know. Build that communication, that conversation in, and CC them on the email. Create a Gmail account that you can share with two of you for just that time period, right? Something like that. So that's why for me, everything I do is either at homes at or info at client care at. And then depending on when I'm going and where I'm going, they're always responding to that email address, but that email address is being sent and forwarded to different people, right? So, and it always says from the office of Neal Oates. Right? And so now you don't know if you're speaking to me, you're speaking to Charles, you're getting a timely response, but it's built in and it's taken care of. Got it? Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to know, do you have a buyer's agent that you give stuff to that you don't want? And if so, how much are you taking as a referral?
I'm not telling you how much I take, but here's why. Here's why. Because it doesn't matter. Because here's what's good. Same principle as I was telling Melinda. I communicate, I say, hey, here's what I need. Here's what I'm willing to give you. Are you willing to take that? So on my team, I have a couple buyer's agents who do it for different amounts, right? Now, the good thing is they opted in. They said, yes, I want to do this. So I was telling Troy, I work with very few buyers unless they are referred to me and only want to work with me. Like my nightmare buyer is a condo buyer in South Beach. Because I specialize in single family homes, I have a buyer, Charles, who is a condo buyer in South Beach. I said, Charles, great. I have an agent named Charles. You guys are the same age. You would love him. He says, nope. He says, I spoke to Brian. Brian told me to use you. No disrespect to Charles. I want you. All of a sudden, I'm working condos, South Beach. I did communicate with him. I need you to be patient with me. This whole thing about valet parking, elevators, I'm working on that, right? I'm used to yard, pull up in the front, bump, go in. He says, all right, cool. I want to work with you. So I'm working with him. So for everything else, I'm just sending everything through because for me, peace of mind, quality, lifestyle, the way I've structured my business, I just don't want to work with buyers. Now, if you have to, now this is a great thing. We get to choose how we want to work. We get to decide who we want to work with. I was telling Troy, Charles, my agent, buyer leads come through from the listing or from referrals. They come in, I don't look, I just send them to him. He qualifies the buyer. Charles has a fantastic heart. Young dude, hungry, doing everything I say. He says, hey, he calls me Teach. He says, Teach, you sure you don't want this one? I'm like, nah, I don't want it. He was like, and then he shows me the lead sheet. You sure you don't want this one? I'm like, nah, I don't want it. Get it, that's you. Boom, go. Why? Because now he is fiercely loyal and he's telling all of his friends, and now he knows that first of all, the quality of the service that the buyers are going to get from him are going to be so much better than from me. Because he's in the point, he's like, man, I can't let Teach down, but then I got to do good on this one because this is, is decent. And then when he gets one that is a rental. So he's getting everything from buyers to renters from, $800 a month to 1.6 million, right? He's getting everything. And so now he gets the small one. He'll come in, he's like, Teach, can I take this one? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why are you so excited about that one? He said, man, got to stay grounded, got to keep going, got to give them. And so now he's handling everything from top to bottom. And so and it does change whether it's a rental and different things that we have built in our agreements, price points, it will change, but they've opted in, so they're happy. And that's the main thing. If you communicate expectations, if we do a great job communicating expectations, most people will be okay with what they step forward to accept, okay? We don't want to have them get in, hey, I need a buyer's agent to take leads. I need a listing specialist. I need a showing assistant. Will you do it? Yes. You get them to say yes, and then you dictate the terms. Now they're like, man, I thought she was going to be nicer than that. I didn't. So I'm just letting them know the terms up front and say, you decide if you want to do it or not. If at any moment you want to change your mind, good. We don't take business personal, but business is personal, right? Anything else? Questions?
I have one for Barry, actually. So when we switched to Form Simplicity with everything, Rachel and I have done a couple deals together, and we tried to actually share the same transaction folder in that. It just never did sync right. Like, it didn't allow us both to be able to see the same document. So, for us, we do coverage for each other when we're on vacation, and her having access to that file to be able to see the contract and the amendment or the addendum, all that kind of stuff is important without me having to go in. So you know if that's gonna work out, or something we can look at, because
So there is a way to do it, and obviously tech support can walk us through it, but I will tell you what I would do is the same thing I did with my business partner. They had my username and password from Simplicity. We didn't share anything. If I was covering for James Kraft, I logged into James Kraft's everything. I logged into his MLS. He wasn't sharing passwords, you know, but I would log into everything he did. We would never share files. It never works out well. Even Top Producer doesn't do it well. None of the software systems do it. Lone Wolf does it okay, but they're crazy. Yes, Carmen?
You can actually, in the team settings on MLS, you can add each other, and then you can choose the levels of permission that you share with your teammates, and so they can either impersonate you or whatever, but what that does is it allows you to act as them without sharing passwords or anything like what Barry said, which is against the rules for MLS, but it just helps you flip back and forth as necessary to
In
send
the
out
MLS,
documentation.
right?
Through MLS as the starting point, and then you can go to the links tab and then roll down to Form Simplicity, and depending upon who you're now impersonating, it will log you in as that person.
Melinda, when did you ladies last try that or last do that?
2 months ago.
Okay, because I know we were having that issue as well. I would say about a month and a half to 2 months ago, we did see an improvement in how good it was, because for instance, me going out, Charles just comes in, logs in, he's using mine. I'm not using mine, but I'm sharing with him because he's one of the sharpest on my team. And so we did see an improvement in that, because initially, now the great thing is, if you reach out, we are part of an amazing association. If you let them know what challenges or issues you're having, tech support, their team is getting in, trying to figure that stuff out immediately. And then if you pose that question, that's how we'll see those announcements coming up on Form Simplicity, what the bug fixes are and all that. They'll put that on there, but then they'll come back to you, hey, we did this. Check it out. Let us know if it's resolved the issue. So don't hesitate to reach out to support at Florida Realtors. And I know that anything that comes up, they're on top of it really quickly. Okay? Questions?
If nobody else has any questions, you can always come to me, so I got one.
All right, go ahead. Give me one.
Okay, just one. So you don't do pop buys. You only do reverse pop buys.
No, I do pop buys.
Coffees or
Nope.
reverse pop buys?
No, so I'm still doing pop buys. So that's different. So my pop buys, I love pop buys. I'm doing a lot of my pop buys. Now, some of my pop buys are with, because don't forget, a big part of my business with agents outside of my marketplace, right? So a lot of my pop buys I'm having to put in the mail. Right, so I'm putting them in with the priority flat rate box and all that stuff. And so I'm still doing it. I'm not physically popping by, but I'm doing that. And then I'm doing an IG or a Facebook video. Hey, guess what? I just popped by you via postal service, right? You should be receiving something in the mail. Be on the lookout, and don't share it with your husband, or don't share it with your wife, or don't share it with the kids. You're like Troy, don't share it with your husband. I'm like, what? Yeah, don't share it with, because I'll go in and I'll put something in there. For instance, if I know that it's something that they like that's off of their sheet or list, I'm just being intentional about that. If it's like a gift card or something, I'm like, make sure this is for you. Spend it on you. Don't spend it on someone else, because you deserve it, right? So that's the idea. We're good? Okay, so I think I'm going to show you all something really quickly just to implement and to use, or to consider using. So main thing I want us thinking about is, I want you thinking about what problems are your clients or customers having that you could solve, okay? The next thing is, could someone come into your business, and if you were not there, would they know what to do? Because if not, chances are maybe you don't know it well enough yet either. All right, or you just haven't documented it. So a couple of things that I wanted to share with y'all. Are you all familiar with Proxio? Is anyone here familiar with Proxio? Proxio, I want you to get familiar with Proxio, because as Barry said, Maria mentioned, how are we going to connect with global real estate professionals? We want to use Facebook, yes, we want to use social media, but here's what I am going to encourage you all to do. I don't like spending other people's money. But what I do want you to do, I want you to consider getting a standard agent. Now, I don't get anything from Proxio for this. I do want you all to consider getting the standard agent version of Proxio, and here's why. Because you see right here where it says build professional profile, add properties. We don't care about any of that. I don't care about sharing properties, zero. What I want you to do is once you have Proxio, I want you to have this right here. This is where you have the ability. Barry mentioned Panama, right? We know that he was talking about Panama. Then even Maria mentioned Panama and Mexico when it comes to trade. Okay, so I come in. I'm doing a search of Panama. And I'm going to come in. Now, here's what I want you to see. You all see that right next to this flag, that's the languages that they speak. I only speak English and Alabamese, right? So if I come in, when I reach out to them via video, because this is where I'm going to put the link for my YouTube videos, right? Once I send it to them. I'm not going to do it through Facebook. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to do a PDF attachment to these agents where I can click on the email once we connect, right? So I haven't done Panama, so mine are going to be Thailand, India, and Japan. But for Panama, I could come in, Sandy Davis. These is where she's going to work. Specialties, Panama real estate and relocation. We have a specialty helping folks move to a second or retirement. So that would be Martine. Panama luxury real estate, right? And so then thinking, depending on who you're looking for and what you're looking for in this right here. Alberto would be someone that I would want to meet if I'm looking at making Panama connections. Here's why. The houses are the number of listings they have. The chain are the number of connections they have. So here, we'll see that Sandy, she has 3 listings in Panama. Alberto has 54 listings in Panama, right? Sandy, 72 connections. Alberto, 203. So now if I come in and if I start sending my market update report, the PDF and the video to Alberto, hey, here's something for you that might help you get information on our marketplace. What is he very likely to do? He's going to get this information. This guy right here is a producer. He's a mover. Different from, no knock on Cecilia, but Cecilia, 0 listings and only 8 connections. So when we look here, who do you think that we want to make connections with? So now when I come in, I have 209 people, I think 209 roughly in my network. In my agent network. So when I go, I'm intentionally going in looking for people who either have the listings, like Carla, 12 listings, only linked to 9. But I would go in and I would send my information to Carla. Now I'm not fishing looking for the needle, right? I'm looking for the haystack. Do you think that he's known in his area? You all think that he's pretty good at what he does in his area? Yep. And so now if I come in, if I become his trusted resource, guess what? All of his database, all of his people, when they look for something domestic or when something over here in the US, he's going to say, and then I would look for, and here's where we're on the contract to buy a house right now, right? My wife and I. The property went under contract, canceled. I called the guy. I was like, hey, I want the house. He said, and the way the conversation actually went was, I said, hey, Alberto, because his name is Alberto. Is it Albert or Albert? His name is Albert. His name is Albert Iglesias. And so that's Albert Church, right? So for me, that's a win. So I'm like, Albert, it's Neal Albert Oates Jr. Oh, we have a tie. I'm calling about our house, right? So for me, if I'm reaching out to Alberto, I'm going to make sure that in my email, when I reach out to him and in my video, I'm going to say, hey, Alberto, it's Neal Albert Oates Jr. That's my middle name. I'm trying to find some tie. And so Albert, he called me back within like 3 minutes. He was like, hey, Albert, you're funny. Send me the offer. Boom. It's no mistake that we got the house, right? And so that's why anything that you look, people will tell you everything that you need to know. If I'm coming in here with Albert, we're talking the listing game right off. I'm letting him know. I'm going to ask his input. What are you doing to generate inventory in your market space? Because I see you with 54 listings. Over here, we're having some challenges. We're having some different things happening in our marketplace. Does that make sense? All right, you guys got that? So just look at, I'm not telling you to spend your money, but just consider Proxio would be a great thing. Yes, ma'am.
How did those agents get on there?
Go ahead first, Barry.
It's also included in your Stellar MLS, in case you didn't know that. When you go to the
Come on, brother.
Stellar MLS, it's in there, right?
Come on.
Yeah, right Chris, it's a basic one where you enter the listings and stuff. It's all you need, right?
That's all you need.
It's included in your subscription.
I have the basic. I have been in Florida Realtors NAR for how I use Proxio, and I use the free version, right? The basic version. So if you do it, all we care about is the relationship and getting information out. Yes, ma'am. How did they get in?
Right, how did the agents get on the list?
Because they, in their countries, in their associations, they are paying for the service as well.
So that all the agents pay for the
Yes.
service are often.
Yes, so this is agent to agent, peer to peer, right? So they have to be a member of their association or board or whatever in their country that has and here's what we love. These people already have relationships with NAR, right? They have to have a relationship with NAR and with our state association in order for them to get in here. Okay, and so that's going to cut down, are they real? Can I? How can I? What can we do for referrals? Now, on that part, you're going to speak to your broker, you're going to speak to the attorneys, you're going to call Florida Realtors as far as how the referral fees are going to be paid. Okay, we're good?
Like an agent linked in.
Yes, so, and that's what this is. And so you'll see where some people come in, they never put the photo in. Now, we are not reaching out to those people. We're not trying to add them at all. We're going to come in, we're going to start looking for, and you're going to say, for instance, for me, if I come in, one of the things that I do, I started, but by language, I come in and I make sure that, now this is Neal, I make sure that if nothing else, they have to speak English language. And so that's where you'll see the British flag here or the US. So as long as they're speaking English, then I want to be in contact with them. Now, maybe you want to say, I want them speaking French only, or at least French. Then you put that in and it'll pop up. Okay? Everyone good there? Making sense? All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Next thing I want to share with you all. I want all of you to be this person right here. How many of you are consistently, repeatedly, always a source for a local news, national, state news? If not, that stops today. Well, no, it'll stop in 3 months because we're not doing anything new for 3 months, right? In 3 months, what you're going to do, you're going to go to every news source that you can, and you are going to go into the contact us, like for instance, I don't care where it is. Submit every news source now. Remember, we used to have to write in letters to the editor and find the address, and it was so hard. Now we go to contact us. And then, guess what we have? News editor, guest editorials. We have their email addresses. These market stats that we're getting, if something interesting is happening in your marketplace, they should be hearing from you at least monthly. At least monthly. And you want to just become that person that's just sending them unsolicited without them asking, because editors, newspapers, they're always looking for content. They always it's so hard to get content. Now, if you start doing that, and once you get published, the good news is, once it's online, the good news and the bad news is, once it's online forever, right? So once it's there, then I don't care if it's Proxio, Florida Realtors, Miami Herald, shout out. Now what happens? Now you go from A to the, because now and our goal is to repurpose everything we do. So just on this page right here, I have enough content to send out to people in my emails, and then I come in and say, okay, people say, hey, I saw that, for instance, I saw what you did with RPR, right? Yep, RPR is up there. RPR came down, they shot a video in my office, had some awesome stuff, showed them, and now, guess what happens with RPR? Is RPR only local? RPR goes to who? All of the realtors, NAR. So guess what happens? Now, when someone in San Diego, when someone in Chicago, when they see that, they reach out to me. Hey, I saw you. How can you use? Oh, great. Here, you want me to walk you through it? Now, they could just reach out to RPR and go through the training, go to the website. But they want to call me, want to talk to me. We get on FaceTime, get on Zoom or whatever, and I'm going to show them how to go through it. Okay, well, Neal, when I have referrals, I'll let you know. Well, no. When you have another question, that's what I want to know. Because once again, if I solve more problems, then they're going to be like, oh, really? Right? I met an agent at an open house, and she was like, are you Neal Oates from RPR? I said, I don't know. I'm Neal Oates from Alabama, right? But then this stuff right here lives forever. And then you can use it. And the crazy thing is, everyone has access to all of this information right here. Very few people are doing it. If you do it, if you use what we already have, immediately you become a resource, you become an expert. And because once you're seen in, and if you do, we like to do the printed news first, then you're going to have opportunities to do media and visual news, because that's going to be the next level, right? And then once they see you cited and sourced here, then TV, they're going to want to talk to you. Companies are going to want to talk to you, want to interview you. And at that point, it takes on a life of its own. Okay? Yes, sir.
Your market updates that you're sending out to your international realtor partners, are those videos, or are you sending out?
I'm doing both. I'm doing both. So in Proxio, what I am going to do, I am going to come here to my agent. And so there are different types of Proxio. Let me select all. So there are different levels of, or different versions, different types of Proxio. I still use Proxio Pro, which is the oldest version. The reason I use the oldest version because it's not Proxio Connect. Proxio Connect is more social, looks more like Facebook or IG or something. I use this for the simple reason that with Proxio Pro you can attach a file. And so I like to attach a PDF of pages 1, 8, and 9. And then in the body, I can put in there a quick write-up, put a thumbnail. I can put a thumbnail of my video and then link my video or link that thumbnail to the video. So now they know what they're going to click on when they see it. And the open rate on that is just nonstop. They have the info in PDF form if they want to have it and just distribute it themselves, or if they want to see me, hear me, and talk to me, there they can go and put some information on the chats or on the comments, and they'll have it there. So that way they're getting video and they're getting the printed PDF.
And it's already in English with subtitles because you selected that they speak English?
No. So on the on the video, because I select English here, no, that's totally different. That's taken from an outside link. So whatever language they have set for the subtitles, for the captions in their YouTube, that's what they're going to see. We're good? Okay. Next thing, last thing, from A to Z. Okay, from A to Z right here, I had a question about what does my buyer or my marketing book look like? So I wanted to show you all. I'm going on Shutterfly. You all know what I'm talking about when I say buyer or seller book, the pre-marketing book. I go on Shutterfly or Peekaboo.
We told him what that was last night.
Yeah, I didn't know. So now I'm definitely only using Peekaboo going forward, right? So Peekaboo or Shutterfly. All this is a photo album. And mine is a 20-page photo album where I'm coming in, I'm having a hardbound photo album. I buy these in bulk, usually 30 or 40 at a time. I think they cost me about $20, right, a piece. And so I'm coming in, and anytime I have a marketing consultation scheduled on a Tuesday, I make sure on Friday, if at all possible, all of my marketing books are going to be distributed and couriered prior to Tuesday, before we have the marketing consultation, right? And in my marketing consultation, all this is a brag on Neal book. So it's going to come in. I'm going to tell them thank you for the opportunity, right? Then we're going to come in and I'm telling them, I'm explaining, remember, as long as it happens the way you tell people it's going to happen, they are okay with it. If it's documented and if you have it in a book, it looks like you've done it before, right? How many manuals and handbooks do we have and we just don't question the process because we don't want to be the one to question the process? So I tell them what the initial consultation is going to look like. You'll see right here, remember I said that I don't list homes, I professionally market homes to the world and get them sold. That's what I do. So the initial consultation, I do a 2-part marketing consultation. That's me. You all don't have to. I set the expectation up front in my pre-marketing book. I'm telling them what to expect. First consultation could be via Zoom, could be in the office, at Panera, Starbucks. Second, I'm going to tell them how we're going to price the property. It's not me. I'm having my agents as well as some other, depending on the quality or the price point of the property, I might have some outside brokers come in and get a preview of the property, and we're going to do a price analysis, but it outlines this for them. My pricing committee. Do you all have a pricing committee? Yep, they're sitting in this room right now. Now, some of you might say, I don't want to do a pricing committee. This works really well when you have that seller who thinks in this market, they can get 6 times what they could really get. You know what? How about we do this? How about we have my pricing committee come in? They're going to give me their feedback. We're going to share that with you, and then we can sit down and have a consultation, right? Not a presentation, together. I'm going to tell them what the pricing process looks like, what we're going to do when we sell the home, and now this is why they should use me. And all this is bragging on me, and then I'm going to have testimonials in here talking about we're so grateful. Remember, I said that a lot of my buyers have kids. Right here. Not only was he attentive to our search criteria and flexible in scheduling viewings, he went above and beyond keeping our 2 small children out of trouble while we looked at houses, right? Ensure the same thing here. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to show them, you all see, remember I told y'all that I wore the weight right here, now y'all see proof of it, right? Y'all see the evidence, right? And then this is RPR. When they came, this is when RPR came to the office and shot video. Right? And then Homes of Luxury, the book that I wrote. Now, if I come in here and people start looking at this and they're reading this, and I get this in their living rooms, on their tables before I show up, talking, point of note for you all, what I want you all to do, this is something I do want you to do before 3 months is up. I want you all to find a microphone, some type of microphone, and get a photo of yourself holding the freaking microphone and post it online. I'm dead serious. Get a microphone. If you want it to be one of the Bluetooth mics, if you want it to be like the Blue or the Bell mic or whatever it is, get a microphone, get a photo of yourself holding the microphone. Have one of your friends, have your kids take the photo up, whatever, post it. Because if the perception is that you're someone that's holding a microphone, you have something worth saying. I do a lot of this right here, the behind the scenes where people see me sharing. Why? Because who shares? Experts share. People want to work with the best. If you aren't positioned to be the best, if they don't see you as the best, shame on you. All right? It's just too good, too easy. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to tell them why. At the very end, first I told them the process and all this, and then at the end, here's who I am, here's what I do. These are the professional qualifications that say I'm decent. I'm pretty good at what I do. And then the absolute last part is thank you. Thank you. So for instance, thank you for the opportunity to serve you. That's how we're closing out. They might not remember anything else. They're gonna know the process. They're gonna be like, okay, the guy had, they were showing properties. He took care of the kids. And then he said, thank you at the very end. If you all do that, now, once again, that's how I do mine. Shutterfly is something different. My marketplace, no one's spending $20 on the book, whether it's a first-time buyer or seller, because the buyer book is a little bit different, right? It's the same type. We outline the buying process, and for the buying process, the information I'm using is from Breakthrough Broker. I'm taking all the information from Breakthrough Broker or from NAR or Florida Realtors, all those infographics that they have. I'm leaving Florida Realtors on the bottom of it. I'm making it so that it either fits my 8x10 or my 8x8 photo, the format. I'm putting it in there, and it's just outlining the process for them. This is what I want you to think about. You all probably have buyer books that you're giving out, right? That you're sending out electronically. What if you up the quality of the experience? What if you increase the experience? If they get something physical, that's a book. My books don't get thrown away. Even the people who don't list with me, they don't get thrown away. And I just need, you bought from someone else, but you have a world-renowned real estate book in your house. Thank you very much. I like that. Put it on your shelf, whatever it is. Someone comes in, what's this? Who? Oh yeah, that's the agent we didn't go with, which is probably the reason why we paid too much for our house, right? So those are just some ideas. That was one of the questions that I had, and I did promise that I would share that with you all. But that comes from, how can I take something that's unintended and how can I use it? All of us have creativity. Like our Creator put creativity in each of us. If we look at the same things in different ways, how can we use a photo book So I use one that's 24 bucks. There are $12 versions of it. Like you all are talking to a guy whose book is a money book, right? Who's a 2.5 by 3.5 book. So what if it was something smaller, unique, different? Could you make it work? Yes, you could. You could do a 5x7 or 4x6, whatever it is, size of photo. Outline the process. Just get something in there to change the experience so that it's an experience. All of mine. So with my company colors, every one of mine, I go to Michael's and I get gift boxes. So you're not just getting the book. It's going to come in an express mail envelope. Now, I'm not using express mail. I just know that for me, the express mail boxes, they're free if you go to the post office. So I just go get a lot of them. A whole bunch of them, and then my courier, or should I say Uber, right? And we also have Getcha. Do y'all have Getcha over here? We have Getcha that does the delivery. So one of my Uber drivers, I just say, hey, I'm not riding with you. Would you deliver this? Could I use you as a courier? Courier services are more expensive than the Uber driver. So I say, hey, would you deliver this? Yes. Boom, make sure I give you the stars. Make sure I give you the tip. He's delivering, priority mail, knocking on the box. Here, this is from you, from Neal Oates at World Renowned Real Estate. They open it up. Black box from Michael's, has my team colors in ribbon wrapped around it. Neal, you're putting too much time. No, it's the experience. Now I've gone from A to the. So when that other agent shows up to list their home and they have that MLS printout papers on standard paper and they're showing you, hey, well, here's this and here's how what my process is like. They're like, I don't get a book? No, you don't get a book. Like I've had my colleagues come in and say, we walked into the house. Like Jeff, one of my really good friends, he said, I walked into a house and I saw your book on the table and I was like, okay, you guys have spoken to Neal. They're like, no, we're going to speak to him tomorrow. He says, list with him. Dude just flat out said it. He said, list with him. That was it, right? And for me, that's when I knew I was there. All right, so thank you all. That is my time.